Hi, welcome to Fusion Beads. Today I'm going to show you how to make the summer style earrings. These earrings are made using the oval hoop ear wires by Nunn Design with these fun Swarovski crystal beads in different shapes and colors. We have tons of different colors of Swarovski crystals on our site, so you can really customize them in any colorway you prefer. To make these earrings, you're going to need 3mm bicones in the Fuchsia, Olivine, Amethyst, Topaz, and the Sunflower. You're going to need 4mm bicones in the Sunflower, and then 4mm rounds in the Topaz and the Olivine, and then the angular rondelle beads in 4mm Fuchsia and then 6mm Fuchsia. One 6mm round in Topaz and one 6mm round in the Olivine, and then a 10mm amethyst Baroque bead. You're also going to need these oval hoop brass ear wires by Nunn Design, and then 26 gauge silver wire with chain nose pliers and wire cutters. You can find all of the product links in the description below. Okay, let's get started. To make the summer style earrings, you first want to do the covering of the component right here along the outer edge of the bottom. To do that, you want to cut a 2-foot length of your wire. Take your component, and you're going to want to start wrapping about halfway down here, right when it starts to kind of curve. So take your wire under the component, leave about a 1-inch tail, and then you're just going to bring that wire up through the middle of the component and then back around and up through the component and then just down and back around. Okay, and you want to do that about 2 or 3 times. And then you want to make sure the wire is just right next to each other. They're just laying right up next to each other. Then you want to take your wire cutters, just cut off that tail. Okay, so now that you have that wire anchored, you're going to want to add one 3mm Olivine bicone. Just bring that down to the component. Okay, and you want that to sit just right on the outer edge of the component here. So kind of just hold that in place with your thumb, and then you're just going to bring the wire under the component. And then back through the component, over it, and back under, and back through one more time, just to anchor that bicone bead in place. Okay, we'll do that one more time. So add another 3mm Olivine, bring it down. Okay, and then you want it up next to the first bead. Just kind of hold that in place with your thumb and go under the component, just kind of pulling tight, and then back over, and then back under and around, just to anchor that in place. And then you can take your thumbs and kind of just make sure that they're sitting right next to each other. So we'll do one more. Okay, just bring that down to the component. Up next to the last bead, just hold it there. Go under the component, bring it through, and then back over and under. Bring it through. Okay, and then you can see you have these 3 Olivine Bicone beads in place right there. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and do the 3. So it's going to be in sections of 3. So the sunflower, topaz, fuchsia, amethyst, and then we're going to mirror that and then go fuchsia, topaz, sunflower, and then the olivine. So I'm going to go ahead and do those the same way I did these 3 here. I'll be right back. Okay, now you can see that I have covered the component on the outer edge of the component using the olivine, the 3 sunflower, 3 topaz, 3 fuchsia, 3 amethyst, and then you just mirror back with using the fuchsia, topaz, sunflower, and the olivine. So now I have this tail here, and I just want to take my wire cutters. So just like your first wraps, you want to make sure actually that it has, that after you anchor that down, you just do 2 wraps. Okay, so then take your wire cutters and just cut that tail. And then you just want to take your chain nose pliers and you can just kind of tuck the edge or the end of your wire. Just make sure it's not sticking out, so it won't snag on anything. Oops. There we go. Okay, so then once you have that, now we just want to work on this middle section here. So we want to take a 2 foot, again, a 2 foot length of silver wire. And first we're going to anchor the wire between, so I'm going to consider when I'm talking about it, anything to the left of the amethyst beads here in the center is the left side, and then the right side is after the amethyst on the right. So what we want to do is just put it between that first amethyst and that last, and the fuchsia here on the left. And we're just going to anchor it down. Okay, and then to do that, we're just going to go around, leaving about a tail. Just go around the component twice. Pull tight and make sure that that wire is nice and straight. Okay, and then you just want to snip. Just snip that tail off. Take your chain nose. Just make sure that that wire won't get snagged. Okay, so now that that's anchored in place, we're going to start with this 10mm Baroque bead. So you want to string that and bring it all the way down. And now you're going to wrap between the topaz and the sunflower beads, so that right here on the right side of your component. So right between the sunflower and the topaz, just pull tight and make sure your wire, there's no kinks. And actually from here I like to open up the ear wire because I like to be able to just go through. It just makes it easier to wrap the wire. Okay. And you're actually, once it's anchored, so you're going to go around the component once fully, so the wire is anchored in between the beads. Make sure it's nice and straight. And now we want to string 2 of these 6mm angular rondelles, okay, in fuchsia. So we're going to string those, and then we're going to wrap between the sunflower and the olivine beads on this left side. So right between that sunflower and the olivine. So pull tight, not too tight, but you just want to make sure it's nice and straight. Go in between those beads, and then just go around one full time around that component. Okay, and so now we want to string one 3mm fuchsia bicone, 2 of the 4mm angular fuchsia rondelles, and then 1 of the 6mm fuchsia angular rondelles. Okay, and then just bring that down. Okay, and then in between, there we go. Okay, so you got that, just pull tight, and then you're just going to want to go between the topaz and the fuchsia here on the left, so right in there. So you're just going to bring that wire around the component to anchor that there. Okay. You can see that's just going to hold those in place right there. And the more wire that we start to anchor the beads, you can see are going to be, they're not going to move as much, and they'll kind of just sit in place a little bit more. Okay, so then from here, you want to string 1 6mm olivine bead, the round, and then 2 of the 4mm round olivine beads. Bring those down. And then here you want to wrap between the sunflower and the olivine right here on the right side. So just pull a little bit tight, but not too tight, just so the wire is nice and straight. Okay, then you just want to go right in between the sunflower and olivine beads. Around the component, back down, just 1 full time around. Okay, so now you want to string 1 round 6mm topaz, and then 2 of the 4mm round topaz. Okay, and then with this one, you want to go right in between the olivine and the sunflower on that left side again. So just pull tight, not too tight, but just enough to make sure that the wire is nice and straight. Go in between those 2 beads. Okay, and then from here, you want to string 3 of the 4mm sunflower bicones. Okay, and then with this, you just want to go between the fuchsia and the topaz here on the right side. So pull tight. And make sure these olivine beads here are along the, right by the component, because when you pull tight, this wire here is going to hold those in place. Okay, so right between the fuchsia and the topaz. And this is a little smaller of a space, so you just got to be a little bit more careful to not kink the wire. Okay, just bring it around the component. As you can see, these beads are just starting to kind of just stay in place. Okay, and then from here, you just want to string these 3 3mm amethyst beads. Okay, and you just want to make sure it's nice, flat against all the other wires. And so that's gonna keep this section here in place, and then these two fuchsia beads so they don't go anywhere. So they're all kind of just stuck in place. So now you just want to take this last wire up to where you started, that first olivine bead, and just right above that first wrap, you just want to wrap. Oops. 2 more times to anchor that down. Okay, so you just want to take your wire cutters, trim that tail, take your chain nose, just push down any ends of the wire that are sticking out. Okay, and there you have it. Then you just want to repeat that for the other earring. And now you have a colorful pair of Swarovski crystal earrings to wear this summer or any time of year. You can find all of the tools and materials for these summer style earrings at fusionbeads.com.